Good morning from Benin. I TV name a program, and I will reach now from Independent Television in State Nigeria. Yes, you know, say we don't start, and we see the worker they go small, small. If you listen recently, a former head of state, Abdulsalami Abubakar, just came up and say young people should go into active politics and all of that, and we say okay, yes. So we also look at to see we go carry out some people, young people see. There's a bit some things media also let us know the future of youth for this country and waiting them go on. I deal with Samuel Bruna Jr. My brother, good morning.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, brother.
All right, Dr. Dion Osagi, and also recently to also win the ECOWAS Youth Ambassador.
Good morning, everyone from Benin City.
Congratulations for your award.
Thank you so much.
And even the PhD.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I got the power.
All right. So, Sam, former head of state, Bermuda. You see, make young people take advantage and enter into police. Say they don't do the back. So, first of all, when you hear that, what was your first reaction?
Well, the first reaction I had was that it's just rhetoric. Rhetoric in the sense that when I say rhetoric, it's theory without substance.
I bet you speak, you talk about it.
Okay, what do you mean they talk, we say now mouth?
Now they make.
Yeah, now mouth, because you not fit do something, say make you go Lagos, and you say take 500 naira, go Lagos. And you know say to go Lagos, you go need like at least to reach Lagos. I think it's about 6,000 naira now.
Yes.
You go say go Lagos for 500 naira. So without the tools, it's like sending a soldier to the battlefield. You don't have the tools. And you say go and fight, go and kill Boko Haram. You don't get bullets. You don't get armored personnel carrier. Say go and kill Boko Haram. So the thing is that the issue of Yahoo, the younger people, going into crime is a result of the failure of past administrations to provide basic necessities of life for the youths. In a situation where the youths, they cannot eat in the morning, there's no water, there's no light, their parents are not eating, they cannot buy books, they don't have anything. They are forced into it. I'm not saying I support Yahoo or ritual killings. I'm not in support of it. But I feel that the government in the past has pushed the youths to nonsense. That's why that statement that Gandhi made, he said poverty is the worst form of violence you can inflict on any individual. Poverty, the worst form of violence. What is that violence? You don't have money, you cannot eat. You don't have money, you cannot pay your children's school fees. You don't have money, you cannot go to hospital. You don't have money, you cannot transport yourself to anywhere. So the past is the problem of the present.
The past is the problem
of the present.
What's up there?
I greet you, Baba.
You don't move around nowhere. You don't go in, you're always moving, always into a different country. If I ask you now, with all sincerity, say yes, hope do for use for this country.
Yes,
Hope do.
of course. Rome, not be one day that they build Rome. It takes step by step to build any nation. Like our brother talk, Ogbemudia, the problem we will get for this country, now the foundation. You cannot expect a young person to fly when you never give them wings. You can't expect a young person to go into politics when you never give them the fundamentals of what they need to push them there. The hope we need for this country lies in the youths. And it has to start from today. Young people new government need to start putting platform in place where young people will feel join. How would you think I feel if, as a young man, I don't finish university, which there are thousands of cases. I interview people all day. That's my work. I sit down for 3 hours and solve people's problem. How do you think a young person who graduated from the University of Benin 5 years ago, still living with his mom in a one-bedroom apartment, and get to watch TV, he sees all these guys in Lagos, in Abuja, spraying money, riding private jets? Of course, when you talk about violence in the community, when you talk about young people with food under their belly, me a day or so, I wish I was hungry. Maybe I feel do worse than many young people because I like to enjoy myself. So imagine if I do not have the resource I have as a young person. Where for they? So the hope we do for this country, now people like us who don't travel around the world, we know say for any nation to grow, we need young people. We can't keep recycling old people now. I was in Finland, then one young lady, she's just about 34 years old. Look at Canada, one of the best countries in the world. Look at their leader. And so many other countries like that.
How did their leader before that? Young,
proactive, have passion for young people. Every once in a while, they go different meetings, they talk to young people to see what their problems is. How many Nigerian leaders, they have town hall meeting, let's talk to young people. How many Nigerian leaders don't go campus tour, go talk to universities and see their challenges? You go to the University of Benin, I was there the other day, I was ashamed to see where young people, my brothers, my sisters, to see the hall they are living in. My brother, pigs in America. If you put a pig in the girls' hostel in Uniben, you'll be arrested. If you are living in America, listen carefully, if you are living in America and a pig that is not to be dirty, you put a pig in a hall where human beings are living, you're going to be arrested. So we need to create a platform for young people so that they can excel. We are living in a modern world where we say technology, they take over. I'm in America, I'm able to help people in those states. I'm in Finland, I'm able to help people that's through technology. So the old people will be saying they don't even operate iPhone, they'll come and lead us. They make me vex. So there's hope, and that hope is in us.
Sir, now you see the narration when you give now. In what do you think would have been the ideal thing for, say, the young people now one day to become leaders? What would have been the ideal thing?
The ideal thing, you have institutions in this country. There's what they call National Orientation Agency, in which we had our brother Tony Radian was in charge at one stage. There's what you call Ministry of Communication, Orientation Communication. Now the essence is to get, like we did, talk to our children constantly. We talk to them every time. Maybe they hear words.
How do you talk to them?
Now, their National Orientation Agency come in. It's a constant update, constant progress on how do you get information to the youth. Now, how do you tell the youth that going into fraud, going into 419, going into crime is bad? For me, is to educate them on the consequences of what will happen. Most of these boys or girls are going to 419. They don't last more than 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And most of them have a tragic end. These are the things that institutions in Nigeria are supposed to tell the youths constantly, every time, drill it to them. Parents, society, everybody. Like I said, National Orientation Agency and other agencies, Ministry of Communication, they should come out with a, let me say, emergency plan on how to tell these children what you are doing is wrong. What you are doing is wrong. The consequences is terrible for you. It's like if you want to join the armed forces. The armed forces will just show you parade, how do you march and all that. But they're not going to show you when they kill person, when they shoot person for head. So now, these are our children. They need to know that what they are doing, the end is bad. The end is bad. I think that's the way they can wake up, because right now they feel that they have to be like everybody else. They have to have a good car, they have to have a good house and all that. But what are the consequences?
But because of my interview with some young people, they tell us, say, the older politicians, they don't carry all the money. So themselves, they don't get the financial muscle to be able to raise anything with them. So, what do you think?
The older politicians, they need to weed out the bad ones.
No, but
the bad ones. When
you say make them weed out the bad, who won't weed them out?
Who won't weed them out? Now the people now. How do the people go about weeding them out? That is the major question. Because when you have a bad person, a bad parent, a bad orga, a bad boss, you get bad results. Now, how do you make the people know that these people will give you bad results? This is where enlightenment comes in. That's why I emphasize National Orientation Agency. I emphasize Ministry of Communication, I think orientation, right? Yeah. They should come in and tell us the truth of the matter. What is the truth? Many people don't know the truth. Until they know the truth, they say truth will set you free. They need to know the truth about the kind of people who will come in. It's the same kind of people you say, oh, these guys, these children are 419. You have many of them who call themselves VIPs. VIPs, 419, they go into government, they can't do anything. It's just to eat.
Sure.
Just their stomach. So we need to tell Nigerians all around the world that don't engage bad people in power. You engage bad people in power, for the next 8 years, 4 years, you will get bad results. So you need to put good people in power. And we need to know these people, their history. When you know their history.
History of politicians?
Yeah, many of them don't know their history. They have a way of bribing their way about their history, covering up here and there. So we need to know their history. This is where enlightenment comes in.
Well, with all due respect, sir, I don't quite agree that enlightenment.
You will read that conduct once more.
Okay, I don't agree. Finish. Say enlightenment join part of the solution. We will fit to do our youth. But sir, for this Edo State, for this Benin City, I started a free food kitchen, number 24 for Exotic Road there, behind the palace. I have done it 255 times. I don't feed people for this Edo State, for this Benin City, 255 times since July 1st. And I found out that say, you know, if you talk to anybody when they're hungry, you cannot enlighten.
You know, if you talk to.
You know, if it's that's when they're hungry. You want to enlighten them. What do you want to tell them? A hungry person cannot listen to anything you have to say. So the first thing we need to do as a state, as a nation, if we want to move our people forward, is to solve the problem of hunger. Once we're able to solve the problem of hunger, then we can begin to talk to people. And to solve the problem of hunger, not a big deal. We can create Edo State farms in every local government. There are many graduates who did this Edo State, who have graduated from Uniben, who already go inside bush, who live for inside bush, to work for the next 4 months to hit just 30,000 naira. I'm a witness. I have people who have masters working for me. I have a school in Welu Road here. The first free school is owned by me. I have about 20 teachers who graduated 4 or 5 years ago, no job. So I believe that if we want to enlighten our youths, the first thing we need to do is to find a solution to hunger. Because when there's hunger, your brain will even think better. That's when they're hungry. You want to say, no, that politician is a bad person. You're not going to listen to you now. When the politician comes, give him 10,000. Which one would you pick first, bro? You're the hungry. I tell you, say, see the way matter be. And I will tell you, talk makes sense. The other person who is not good at all, come, give you 10,000. You go follow that person first now. So this is the problem we're having. And the politicians don't already know, say, now their key be that. So they keep everybody hungry. So that they will begin to use these boys as tools. And it's very wrong. So for us to break the barrier, we need to be able to find a solution to make sure, say, our people get food for belly. Once they don't get food, they will fit talk to them. Because as I tell you, my brother, that they're hungry. You know, if you talk to me, sir, I'm not going to listen to you. So that's what I really think. We need to find a way to solve hunger. After we solve hunger, we must start talking to our people. Because if hunger there, bro, people, they say, some people, they collect 5,000 naira for election. Not be their fault.
So let me say all those preaching when we say when we preach say collect money, no collect money.
No, you reason am now. You dey hungry. You dey hungry as an individual. Food not dey belle. No 100 naira not dey to even chop. Then I come to tell you say, no, we will beat up. It may come out. We must go. We must. Then somebody just comes and say, Baba, all this 10K. Where would you go? That's the problem we're having. So we must find a solution to stop hunger in Edo State, and I'm already in that mission, which you are aware. The records are everywhere online. I created a godsend kitchen. Since July 1st, 2017, right here in Benin City, we have been feeding people. So now the solution first be that, and I also agree with my father, after we don't feed these people, then we cannot start teaching them. See what things be.
Sir, who did government? One thing, sometimes when I look at the way things don't be, whoever work contest for any position, I work.
Now work.
Work.
Okay.
Who really want work for people? Who really want to serve people? Because you see so many things don't square.
Too many.
Many problems. Well, when you look right, you look left, you look center. Okay, let me ask you now. But the young people to Sam, you don't work out for the political terrorist one. You should say they prepare. Are they prepared? Because, for instance, the youngest governor, when you say contest presidents for the state, governor for Kogina, his state, the way they do to, come, like they call the disgrace the young people, when they say they won't go office. I mean, now the opinion of those people that one.
My brother has said that hunger. An hungry man is an angry man.
Very angry.
And but what I believe is that it works hand in hand. Feeding and orientation. The issue of a young person, you have many brilliant young people.
But they
are everywhere. Okay. But most of the brilliant young ones, before they think of coming out, they have thought of so many reasons why they shouldn't come out, the pros, positive and negative of why they shouldn't come out. So it's, for me, power comes from God.
Sure.
When you look at the history of Nigeria, those that have ascended the throne, they didn't plan to ascend the throne. Even the present governor, Governor Basek, 1 year before the election, he never thought of ascending the throne. So what I'm saying is that apart from power comes from God, you have to work towards it. There are youths that are eminently qualified.
But they work towards them because
we are talking of the science.
Okay.
The science aspect is not there. So it needs something completely out of the ordinary to be able to bring a youthful person to come to power. Something out of the ordinary, because they don't have the money. That is the major thing. They don't have the money. But if they have the money, I'm sure they will have the plan on how to get the power.
Some of them, they talk of independent candidacy. That one, she said, go help.
That one cannot work with the present system. You have to be in the major party, either PDP or APC.
Sure.
So, for a young person to come to power in this country, if you talk of the Kogi State governor, he's almost 50. Is that young? Dita Spiff, the governor of Rivers State at one time, I think was 27 years old. So when we talk of youth, to me, he's not young. He's middle age. But we have to marry enlightenment and feeding. You see, what the doctor said was that they have pushed the whole system to a situation where you have to rely
on them. They are supposed to rely on us.
There's no deliberate policy, and I think it's deliberate policy to make people poor.
Sure.
when you make people poor, they must come back to you.
That's it.
And say, how do we do this thing? So how does the future look for this country? The future for this country looks like it's very bleak. Bleak in the sense that it's the same old fogies, the same old people rotating themselves from state to national level. So how do you get a new person in that system? It needs something new. And we pray that what happened around the West African region, where coup d'etats are taking place, does not happen in Nigeria. My prayer is that what happened in Afghanistan does not happen in Nigeria, where Boko Haram would say they want to come and take over. What do we do about it? So there are a lot of issues, because when you're talking about power, you talk about military power, you talk about military might, you talk about the military wing of power, because really it's not enough just to be preaching, you know. So
the young ones, they are educated, they have the credentials, but the opportunity no be there. So when Abdulsalami was saying that one, it means that he was not talking.
Now story in the talk. He knows what he's talking about. Abdulsalami is just, he was head of state for 1 year. During his period, okay, he handed over to a democratically elected government. But what happened in his time? Is it not then Abiola vanished? Many other things. So he's just talking. He knows the youth do not have the tools. I'm not saying that it's wrong for the youth to.
But former President Bosso just says, also talks, say, instead of use to the weight, make politicians hand over to them, make them take her by force. He said something
hungry
like that.
person not fit take anything now. Hungry person. Your parents,
So your own are just hunger.
bros, hungry in the country, man. This is what I do. I talk to people every day. Last year, I interviewed 3,700 persons. Talk.
Young people.
Young people, old people, widows, children, the records are there. You cannot talk to a person that is hungry until the love of people overcome the love of power. We know if you go anywhere for this country.
So do government get love for people according to
You have a few of them. You have a few good people.
Less than 1%.
But they fight them. When you're in government, if you try to do the right thing, they will fight you to the end.
It's true.
You know? So, Obasanjo's statement,
to me they took her by force.
is telling you indirectly that the only way you can take it is to use gun.
Of course. And that's what
it's
they
telling you,
respect.
and that's the truth.
If
That's
you
why
are
I'm telling
violent,
you
people respect you more in this country.
about the military wing of any agitation. That's what IPOB are doing. They try to use force, but it cannot work. The only thing for me is orientation, education, enlightenment. How do you enlighten people?
But he said that you cannot do it without hunger according to her.
No, it works hand in hand. You have to feed people and at the same
As you are
time
feeding them,
enlighten
you are talking to them.
So
And,
what he's doing, if more people can do what he's doing,
the country will change.
let me say Edo State, more people can do what he's doing, Edo will change.
Absolutely.
But how many people are ready to do that? Because in Africa, in this our society, sometimes when you help people, it's as if you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, of course, it's a
The
big
same
problem.
people you want to help will come after
You have said it all. Including a situation that just happened in this office today. Okay, I'm not going to go there.
So as we're going to wrap up, final solution.
For me, the final solution is one, enlightenment. Two, the little we have from each household, let's try and feed ourselves. If it's our
That means you don't align with this hunger thing, Abi?
yes. If it's our
So
street.
which means that means to say when they feed us now, we're not going to reach to become president one day. Because now when they feed for them, I want to become president and governor. And
No, if you feed, if you start with your street, let me say your unit, your ward, you start feeding them. By the time you feed them, you don't tell them, say, go vote for that criminal.
who will feed them now?
That's why I say, if we are doing what our brother is doing, street by street, unit by unit, word by word, it's a long process.
Yeah.
But we have to get there. We must start today.
Sure.
On how we will get there. We have to start yesterday. How do we get to this level of letting people know, say, not listen to that man, not LGBT person, you know? And the only way is that if that person has eaten, if he has eaten and you tell him what to do, I think they will follow that direction.
One of my guests for inside this program, they always tell me, say, it is, I talk about when a man who is hungry, sitting on money, cannot take the right decision. He's hungry and he's sitting on top of money. You know, and he's hungry. John, you don't really align with your submission. But before you come up for here, can you just share small experience about in some of the countries where you don't visit, some of the young people who did office, how they take research of things?
Well, most countries where I don't go, even before now, the countries are already working. Right? Most countries where I don't go, 100 years ago, the country don't already work. I'll use Montreal, Canada, for example. I visited Montreal, Canada. I can find out, say, one train station, there are 3 stories under the ground. You go enter like this, you go enter 3 stories under the ground. There's a city underground. And this city under the ground, subway, was built 100 years ago. We live in a state or in a country whereby we still struggle to fix surface road. So it means that we still have 100 years behind. What we need to do to move our state forward is very simple. It's job opportunities. Feed our people. Give people a chance to be able to survive. Once we do this, you will see people who build self-confidence. If you go to my Facebook video that I did sometime last week, a young man who is working with me, he's a sawmill guy. The guy that do sawmill work. But his wife comes sick. As his wife sick, the small money we get, he goes to the tools, come to the treat his wife. That sawmill work, you know, if you call the drum, all he needed was 180,000 naira to buy the machine again and to be able to make 15,000 a week. So for the last 4 years, this young man did not have 180,000. Because they do this, local vigilante till they survive. So when he came to my office, he's on social media. I gave you 200, ordinary 200,000. Me go to start. The guy faints.
Okay, so some of them are Gino and Dr. Dion
Cado. Dr. Cado.
Dr. Dion Osagi. Yes. I salute them. I want to take you on this morning.
Thank you.
I want to take the pull for issues that get to do with nation building, and of course what get to do with the young people. And of course, we know say, like you talk, we must need to keep talking to the young people and also being able to provide solutions the way we fit to the best of our ability. We never feel reach that side, but when we do so, we could start from there. We salute to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Your birthday, I think yesterday,
February 2nd.
Yes, 19 celebrate birthday.
222, that's the son of Angel.
Okay. All right, some of them I agree to you again. All right.
God bless.
We'll take a small break before our good man from Benin will continue again.